You always have.
A little aggressive.
Yeah.
Felt institutionally.
Call the meeting to order. Start with the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will do roll call because Nikki is not here. Word on the street is a sore tummy. Anyway, Darcy.
Here.
Danny.
Here.
Paige.
Here.
Brandon.
Here?
Eric.
Here.
Wade Welmer is here.
Cindy's here too.
So I need to say, okay, yeah, sure. Cindy's here too. All right. Agenda adjustments, approval, action, anything for that? Don't think we have anything. Okay. Any announcements? Well, moving right along here. I'm looking for community members, and I'm not seeing it. Moving on. Student board report.
Alright, I really don't have much to say today. Just really enjoyed the snow day yesterday, so thank you superintendent.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Gives us extra time to study for finals coming up this Friday, which some students have finals, some might not have as many, so it's sort of 50-50. People just preparing for that. Excited for the new semester because it's always sort of like a clean slate for students. They can start off in those grades strong again. Otherwise, nothing much is really happening in my high school right now. Just students getting ready for finals.
Regan, I have to say I appreciate you extending that because I did get told off by a third grader.
Really?
Yes, because it was her week to be star of the week. And she was upset with her teacher because it was a 4-day week anyway, so it was a short week. And then with me, it was a 3-day week, so she was not happy with me.
Did she get mad at you with complete sentences?
Yes.
Okay, well, very good. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
Board member reports. We'll start with Darcy.
I have nothing to report.
Danny.
Same.
Eric Morgan.
Well, I just want to extend a warm welcome to our two new members. Looking forward to working with you. MSBA was a bucket filler. To steal a line from our PBIS. Always a good time. Other than that, that's all I got.
Brandon?
I just want to thank for having the opportunity to attend the conference. It was I learned a lot, kind of drowned with financial stuff, but it was a very good conference to attend. So thanks for letting me be a part of that.
I was going to say the same as Eric and Brandon. We had a nice conference, a lot of information coming at us at one time, but
it was nice.
It was nice. It was a good conference.
Yeah, I thought walking around with all the vendors, I ran into a bunch of vendors I didn't even know we used. So I might need a vendor list from some folks here, just so I know who to, workers' comp, liability, all this stuff.
And huge kudos to our pre-K discovery program because they presented at the MSBA convention. So that's, there's only 10 or 11
Their print
that
gallery is
get,
excellent.
so
They
yeah.
have many applications.
So I think
Get I think 16 was the number for this year.
in my time on the board, I remember seeing the motorcycle club up there once, and that's it from our school.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well represented. Thank you.
Well represented.
Anything else? Okay. Move on to administrative reports. High school principal.
Yeah. So as Regan mentioned, kind of the big thing right now is that transition of semesters. We go from semester 1 to semester 2 in about 72 hours. So that's quite the switch, especially for teachers who are essentially doing everything they do at the start of the year and more, because they're starting a brand new slate of classes, but they also have to grade everything from the first semester. So it's a really quick turnaround. And that kind of brings up a little different feel to the building because everyone is kind of anticipating that switch. So you get teachers who are maybe not quite as patient as they typically are, or that know this is the hard deadline, I can't take it after that. So that's a little tough sometimes for kids to hear. that, you know, usually you're so flexible. Well, I gotta get moving on. So, always an interesting time. Kind of the big thing after that, and it seems strange to talk about, you know, the 25-26 school year, that we have registration that comes up very shortly after that transition. The reason it has to happen so early is essentially we need all those numbers by the end of February, because that then helps with our staffing numbers. And there's timelines for staffing as far as if you do have to make some cuts because there's no longer enough for a full position in the department. That has a hard date according to statute. So being a student-driven schedule, meaning that whatever the kids sign up for, those are the courses we offer. So that's where we have to do that much earlier. So if we wanted to be like university where we say, nope, these are the courses we're offering, pick, we can push that back about a month or two. But obviously we want to serve the needs of the students. So that's where it starts so early. And then people wonder, well, why are you doing it then and not like May? It ties back to staff. So registration will kick off. We got a few big events. Students will get all the information the week of May 10th. We do individual class meetings, so we start with our juniors since they're going to be seniors. We kind of work our way down. The following week on Tuesday, the 18th, we have our second semester conferences and combine that with a registration night. So any families that have registration questions, you know, should I take this class? What is that class about? They can come on in right to the space, and we have all of our teachers in here that they can ask questions. And then we do a parent meeting for any new families, any transfer families, or just anyone who's been here for a while and has registration questions. So that occurs in the auditorium on that same night. And then Thursday of that week is when we actually do registration.
How are stable of AP teachers in courses that we offer?
We're transitioning slowly more towards concurrent enrollment.
Okay.
So we're adding a new concurrent enrollment next year, in fact. We still have AP courses. The tricky piece is that anyone who is a licensed educator can teach AP.
Okay.
In order to do concurrent enrollment, which means you get both high school and college credit, you have to have enough credits within your subject area.
In order for the student to get the concurrent.
Yeah, and most teachers, their master's is not in their subject area. It's in education or, you know, curriculum and instruction or something related to that. But according to the current enrollment pieces, if I'm a math teacher and I want to teach concurrent enrollment math, I need a master's in math or enough credits towards that.
And if they take an AP course and they don't get a B, then they don't get any credit for having
If they
taken it.
don't test high enough on the test. Yeah, they take a test in the end.
So that's the rub of AP versus concurrent.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bad deal.
Yeah, we would rather offer concurrent, but it's much harder to find teachers who are able to do that.
And so then that leads directly into the increase of online, PSE.
Brandon, you seem to have a question.
I got lots of questions. Do I got my two token?
Yeah. This is your time
So
to ask.
that's only one.
Oh.
This is your world.
Are we offering any professional development opportunities for our staff to get those credits so that they could become concurrent certified?
We don't offer as far as to pay for the courses or anything like that. That has not been district practice, no.
And then the second question is, when do the 8th graders register?
They register, I believe it's on the same day. 8th grade is slightly different because they do it all within their English class. So they'll actually have our school counselor come to their English class. So it's a much smaller group as opposed to having the whole grade together. So they get a little bit more of kind of a personal touch with it. So I believe it's on that Thursday, right? That same Thursday.
We'll have the information in this week's update,
Yeah.
just for you, Brandon.
So yeah, it's all roughly the same time. But yeah, about probably 3/4 of the families that'll be at the parent meeting will be 8th grade. Sure. Yeah.
Do you think that would encourage staff to get concurrent enrolled?
If we offered to pay for it, absolutely.
And what would you, off the cuff, ballpark? How much would it cost somebody to get there?
I think it's 15
15 grand?
credits that they need.
That's $1,000 a credit, or?
Well,
Roughly.
there would be two cost implications for the district, because we also in the contract pay them for the lanes.
Right.
So
Oh,
if
yeah.
we're paying for their education and we're paying them an increase, it's a little bit of a double.
And then we have to think, how long will they stay once they have that?
Yeah.
So there has to be some agreement at the end of that.
Where's a blood oath? Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you could, yes, there you go. And you could always do an MOU saying, you know, if we absolutely need concurrent enrollment teachers, then the agreement with the union is that we could pay for credit, but we will not advance you a lane.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa. Yeah, so, you know, then teachers would have to decide, you know, it could be one or the other.
So how many staff are currently certified with the Masters plus 15?
We have one who's actively teaching here in Rome, so they're all in mathematics.
Would be wonderful if we had more.
Yeah, it would be wonderful.
Didn't mean to derail things.
No, it's perfectly fine. It's a very complex topic.
Yes.
Because then if you got 3 teachers in the department, all 3 of them are interested, who do you offer to go?
Jump ball.
Mm-hmm.
Bench press contest.
Yes, absolutely. So, one other thing of note with the registration is that it's an interesting time for seniors. It kind of settles in that everyone else is talking about next year and we are not.
Right.
So.
I have to say, I am happy I don't have to deal with registering for science.
Yeah, but it makes it real though, right?
It does.
So.
And who do we work with the concurrent enrollment?
We go through Southwest State.
Okay.
That's our one that does all of our math credits right now. But we would be open to shifting if we had to. But they've done well for us.
Sure.
Next item, ACT. ACT is fun stuff. So we have to change our process. According to the state, we had shifted away to doing it on the National Testing Day, so we were merely a host. They said, no, you actually need to go back to doing it during the school day. That carries with it all kinds of interesting pieces. Because ACT is super picky as far as there can't be any disruptions, there can't be people walking across the room, there can't be all this stuff. You combine that with the fact that the state says it has to be during a regularly scheduled school day, it must be under school grounds, and all of those items. So we end up with something that's going to be a little bit unique on the day that ACT selected, so April 22nd. We are going to have our juniors who are taking the ACT, and then our 10th graders will take one of their MCA tests. So those 2 groups will be testing. Our seniors and any juniors who are not taking the ACT will have a job shadow experience. We'll work with them to set up finding a place if they need help finding a place. But that job shadow will essentially count as their attendance for the day. So they'll have to have, wherever they're shadowing, sign a form saying this is where I went. They'll have some reflection questions with that. There'll be a nice experience for them to get out and kind of maybe try a new career. We're going to encourage them to do it with someone who is not within their household. So if you really need to go with a parent, you can, but we want you to experience something different than so. Uncle would be great, going with your neighbor, whoever, wherever, that would be a fantastic thing. But we'll work with those seniors and then some of our juniors to find those places if they need help. And then our freshmen, we will do some kind of career and course exploration activities. One thing that some of our freshmen said is it'd actually be really nice to go and try something in the cooking class or do a little activity in the wood shop. Just to kind of get some exposure to some courses that they might not take or they might not be thinking about. It's too bad it comes way after registration, but it still gets them a little exposure to some things they might not otherwise. So that'll be April 22nd, and again, it'll be a little bit of an unorthodox day for us. But
and I'd like to just add to that. Unfortunately, that's the date that worked, and we can't do anything else. But that's on the cusp of one of our 4-day weekends, and we've been really encouraging families to take their vacations on those 4-day weekends, so they're not missing a whole week of school. And that was just recently brought to my attention. So I'm gonna be working with Jacob and the counselors and see, you know, what are the other options. You know, if a student's a junior and they want to take the ACDs, but they're on a family vacation, what are some of the options that we can provide for them? So I just was looking at that earlier today. So
like you mentioned with the family vacations, what will that look like for seniors who are expected to do a job shadow that day?
They'll be able to do it at any point in the month of April.
Okay.
So that's just the time that we're giving you. But if obviously that day doesn't work, it might not work for wherever you want to shadow. You pick a different day.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep. And then final items, so the spotlight for this month, I wanted to, we already had Eric bring up PBIS, I wanted to talk a little bit about our high school PBIS team. So it was something that we brought back and resurrected. It had been around, it started the same time elementary did, I think, didn't it? So probably 9 years ago, 10 years ago. But then it went dormant for several years, and then we brought it back now 2.5 years ago. So it started with Mark Moulton and Jen Getford, who was our consultant at the time. Now it's being led by Denise Hazel. And really what PBIS does at the high school is slightly different than elementary and middle school, because obviously age appropriateness is a thing. So kind of the big focuses for our PBIS team at the high school level is creating a positive culture within our building, and that's for students and for our staff. So it kind of works on both of those fronts. It does a lot of things as far as student recognition. One of the things that they're trying to figure out is how do we get more school spirit within our walls, whether that's showing up at sporting events or just, you know, dress-up day participation, things of that nature that we want to see happening a little bit more. They're also the ones that take care of like the student awards program, the weekly bucket fillers, things of that nature, their student recognition, and they do some things for staff as well. The other part that they do a lot of is trying to make sure that we have consistent expectations and then consistent responses when students don't meet those expectations. That's one thing that they really work on, where if someone's in my classroom and they're meeting the expectations, and next door they're in Ms. Fitzloff's classroom and they're not meeting it, that the two of us respond in the same way. So that's really kind of what they do. It's an awful lot of work, and sometimes it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, so people don't really know what they're doing or who it is. Just want to take a moment to recognize that team. And that's it.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
Any questions? Middle school.
I'm gonna be short and sweet today, I promise.
Jacob took up most of your time.
Yeah, you did. We did it last time. These guys owe us about 10 minutes on the report today. So, you might not, but I do. Anyway, we are also working on the end of the semester here. It's interesting going from high school and listening to Jacob going, oh my gosh, this was my world for 16 years. And then this year having our kids ramp up and just reminding, you know, different age group, different developmental levels, but also wanting them to finish strong. 5th grade is certainly different than 8th grade, so we're just, each grade level has their own expectations here for the end in a good way and age appropriate way, because we want our 8th grade obviously to be ready for next year. But the clean slate for all of our kids is also a pretty good thing as well. They're also participating in progress monitoring again with our fast bridge testing, and because of the days off, they're still kind of working through that, so we can see if what we're doing is working with our students and such. So then student recognition. Last Thursday we had our Student of the Month dinner, and Leslie Pellinger does just an amazing job of her leadership with PBIS, but she did all of the details associated with that, with the help of some other PBIS members as well. It was a little light just because we had activities going on, so we're brainstorming ways that we can really try to include, all of the folks as much as possible, the kids and their parents as much as possible. Teaching and learning, explain that. I've started some formal observations again, and for those of you that are parents, I just love talking about what I'm seeing in the classroom, the different innovative things folks are doing, encouraging staff. I don't want to see you talking in front. I want to see kids doing and learning, so feel free to do that, and they do, and it's so much fun. Today I was actually in a science classroom too, so that's the formal process is actually a lot of fun for us too, as well as those informal times popping into classrooms as well. Upcoming events, we have our second out of building Lancer Way Day scheduled for February 13th. We chose that day because February 14th kids are off, so we thought, well, let's just go ahead, and it's about the appropriate time, so it works. We're going to follow a similar format as last year, and the whole idea of going off campus is for our kids to practice those skills and expectations that we've taught them throughout the year, and have a fun celebration for them. So that's a goal for that day. And there's one other thing. And I think, Lancey Mart. I keep calling it Lancey Mart. The kids think it's funny. But they started coming a couple of Fridays ago, and it's fun. The fifth graders are all super excited and can't wait to see what's on the shelves. And Val has some pictures to share during her report. But then as the grade levels got older, by the time it got to 8th grade, they're like, what's just too kind of a little too cool, but they'll get there, but certain kids are saving up those Lancer shields to come in and spend a little extra time with me. The first time there's 10 kids grabbing everything. I'm like, we got to figure this one out. So we adjusted, and we have about 3 or 4 kids coming in at a time, but you can tell they're saving up their shields because we have less kids for the weekly drawings too. So can't say enough about the PBIS team. And the work that the staff is doing with that, and then the hard work of our teachers doing the letters training and implementing our new ELA curriculum has just been ongoing. So that's it.
What are you going to see at the Riverlight?
You know what? I don't even know yet. We haven't decided because apparently we bring our own movie to have less cost. I didn't know that. Yeah.
You should make them watch some classes.
It's 7th grade.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, who's all that?
That's a good idea. Sky about the rockets. That's a very nice news. One of my favorites. We'll talk later. Anything else for the ministry?
I question for our curious. Look into Lancer more or
Lancemart.
What is? Do they buy?
They be different. So what they do is we hand out Lancer shields for just randomly throughout the day in classrooms, in the hallways, in the common spaces, and kids can either choose to save them up, and then we have prizes. It's like going to when we were kids and you went to the arcade and you saved up your tickets, you get to decide, am I going to spend 2 tickets on a pencil, or I'm going to save up and get 150 on a monster truck, right? So that's kind of the idea. So so they save them.
Donating those items.
Yep. Some of them donated. We had reached out in the fall to some community businesses. We have a wide range of things, but then we also use some of our auxiliary fund to be able to purchase some of the items for there. And we had a lot of work from John Ryan, 8th grade, and our 8th grade social studies student teacher designed a slide deck, like a catalog, if you will. Our Sears catalog, JCPenney catalog, is all up, and so shows them what it is that they're saving up for. One group, they asked me, these 2 little 5th grade girls, right the first week, they came in and they both saved up 50 each, and they said, Ms. Pitzoff, can we have a pizza party? Because a pizza party is for 100 of them. And they together said, sure, this will be great. So we have to schedule that and do that, but it was super cute. The initial girl had asked me before, and I said, I got to think about this. And then I just didn't have the heart to say no. So Collaboration. It sure was. It was innovative, you know, like, let's talk about this. How can we get,
And is
you
that
know?
Corky's then?
I don't know. We haven't even talked about it. I'm gonna have to talk with the girls and say, okay, this is the budget. What would you like to do? But that's what we're thinking.
I believe there's some PBIS grants out there too, since we are an award-winning school for our program.
That's right.
Pretty lucky.
Yeah.
in getting some of those.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's good.
I know that Nikki had mentioned in her communication, I don't know, she had let you know, that she was thinking about donating some of the tchotchke she picked up at the vendors fair.
Oh.
From MSBA, there's lots of, like squishy fidgets and, you know.
Kids actually, that was the sixth grade crew, a lot of them chose the fidgets. It was really neat.
And then
we have like chapstick, like little flavored chapstick. I'll have a chapstick,
Oh,
please.
if you need some of those, I know a couple of the vendors. Marshall Clennon has like the best chapsticks in the world.
Oh.
And I've written to them before and said, can you send me a box?
It's good.
It's good. I mean, there's a lot. There's pencils. There's some, educational things. Let's see what's
Lightly
principal
worn.
for a day, and they're all like, "Can we cancel school?" I said, "I don't get to cancel school." So no, you may not.
That's why we don't.
Sky's the limit.
I still
am not quite sure what they'll do with me, but I don't know. A couple of them are saving up, I guess. It'll be
Kids, this is what the Union Army.
We get to skip class. Yeah. That'll let you do.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of that? No.
Any other questions? Elementary.
So on that same line, there is cash out there. If you click on that link, you don't have to do it right now, but we're likely going to apply to the exemplary school again, and they just upped that award from $400 to $1,000. Which goes to help with the purchasing of the tchotchkes, or more importantly, developing the programming and keeping it sustainable. So that's on our to-do list. The second paragraph kind of highlights more innovative and effective ways of working with students and solving problems. Turns out, interacting with them louder, higher, and faster isn't research-based, and we just had a good staff meeting about that topic. Mindy joined us this morning for that. So good. I think courageous conversations are happening, and holding staff accountable as I'm being held accountable for the way we interact with our kids, and making some improvements on that. Integrity is our monthly theme, and so we're going to continue to celebrate that. We've got our newsletter there linked for you. We're working on our, it's always a month behind. We're working on our December newsletter for you, and we've got another date coming up I want you to be aware of. You're all cordially invited to attend Bringing Books to Life on March 11th. That's kind of a time-honored tradition, support of our PTO, and it's a great way to engage staff after hours and give back to the community, invite the community into our building, and bring books to life. March 11th from 5:30 till 7-ish until the food runs out. And it's in March, so we're until the books are done. Yeah, until the fat guy reads the book. So, and I think there may or may not be a fire engine there. It depends. I think they're doing a training that night. So, always a fun time, and huge thank you to the PTO for kind of helping organize that. And Kate Thompson is our on-staff champion for that event. So, thank you to her as well.
Something to think about too is La Crescent's fire engine is busy, Hope is not.
Thank you for that.
Oh, Hope is a part of the district. Right on. Wow. Yeah, exactly.
Caught yourself on Saturday. Yeah, why don't we have Hoka on the spiel sheet? We should. Everything we do should be. So.
We'll take it.
It said, I was reading somewhere, I don't know if it was the website or if it was a sheet at a different school, but it said the Crescent Hoka Co-op, and it then said Montessori underneath it.
The ARA Co-op is Montessori.
Yeah.
Maybe could you go back one time? I forgot there's a picture I just need to highlight, which is priceless. I think it involves one of our partnerships with our high school leadership. Kids coming over. If you can click on, or I think there's pictures on the next page. There's 3 pages. Yeah, you missed the best part. So food shell. The holiday train came like weird time.
2:15
on a Tuesday. There was no snow. So our kids kind of got together. Sarah Reese kind of championed that, and they did a food shelf fundraiser. Kids gave back to our food shelf, which also helps our students and families. It's a really great partnership. It happens right in our own backyard, so really good. Those student leaders stepping up. And then this next picture is the high school leaders being told what to do by my 3-year-old, which I think is priceless. You can imagine what they're saying, and just reading books together. A lot of good older kids and younger kids reading together. So thank you to the high school leadership class for spending time with us. We look forward to keeping that partnership going.
Is that Andrew?
Yes, that's
yes.
Yeah, Andrew's getting told.
And Eleanor is telling him how it's going to go.
How things go in the PK.
Yeah. Eleanor's giving it.
It's
This
like
is how it's going. Yeah, right. I know.
Man.
He had a blast.
I know that one.
It should. I believe so. Yeah. It comes out monthly, but it's a month behind. If you're not getting it, let me know, and I'll make sure you're on the listserv.
That's funny.
And is it linked on the website?
I'll double check that because we want to make sure it goes out to all parents and families.
Heather, you send something out to the entire middle school every week.
My staff really does all the work. Like I add things. I have
Your
a little
one
like.
this week was particularly special. I like it, just so you know.
I write a little note. It's like my end of the week, like what's on my mind.
And Jacob, you send something out to
2 things monthly.
monthly. Now Jeff has got to ask, what are you sending to your parents?
There's the newsletter.
We've got a newsletter that includes information from me. And the expectation is that communication is happening from teachers to parents weekly. Yeah.
Preschool parents get it daily.
I just happen to just put it in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you. Excellent.
Visuals and everything.
Any other questions for Jen?
No, but something that's not in my report, I'll tack on to with the food drive that was done. It was very helpful for us because at the food shelf, I have stepped down now, but for 7 years I was the chairperson for the food shelf. And in 2024, we distributed 180,000 pounds of 90 tons, a 24% increase over 2023. And then that was a 52% increase over 2022. So the needs just keep increasing in our community. So every food drive and toiletry drive that everybody does in this building is truly helpful. So
Keep in mind, that's not counting what we do within this building for our students. So it would have been a 35 or 40% increase most likely.
So anyway, here's my report. I have a link there to our community ed catalog. Hopefully you all received one in your homes. Thanks to my operations and enrichment coordinator Jody for making it beautiful again. The picture I have there is of the booth that Karn and I were at the MSBA conference, showcasing our excellence of what we've done to create Discovery Preschool to get it to where it is today versus where it was in the past. So it's been labor of love over the last 13 years, and we're very proud of it, and we're happy to be recognized by them, to be invited there. Below that, I put out some key timeline dates that everyone is asking about. Christmas is over, so when's all registration happen? So if you need to refer people to my board on here, it's on there. We've gotten the information out through our preschool, and we will also be sending out communication through the elementary school for Summer Kids Company registration is obviously a big one. And then if you keep scrolling down, what I've been up to now that the catalog is out is, if you recall, Community Ed is taking over a majority of the City of LaCrescent's summer rec programming. So we'll be doing tennis, volleyball, golf, basketball, and t-ball. All the older kid baseball and softball program will be LIB, swim lessons, and all the cool stuff continues to be operated by the city. But I have the listing of all their past coaches and phone numbers. So I've got about 50%
50% of them are returning, and a couple are still undecided. But we're gonna hold our first staff meetings, now we're gonna try to kind of none of them will take a pay cut to come in with us, but the city's pay structure is a little different than ours, so we're just gonna try to work together and make something cohesive there. So yeah, we also want to get our advertising out ASAP for all of the staff that we will be hiring. So hopefully we'll have postings ready to go by the middle of February. So hopefully I've heard back from who can return and who is not. So questions?
So you still feel like you've got capacity to manage that? Because it's going to be an increased workload.
It will be.
And how about funding?
The city programming, before I took it over, I requested to see their budgeting, and it was self-sustaining, in terms of not with administrative, but work for the organization, but honestly, we'll be able to do a couple of things with it that we're gonna change some things, which is hard, but we're gonna make some things kind of fold nicer into all of the schedules with, you know, 4-year-olds walking from the elementary school to Abnett Field, and then they throw temper tantrums when they're at Abnett Field for the high schoolers that are teaching T-ball. It's because they're tired. That's a long walk for 4-year-old legs. So we're going to start having the T-ball practices at the elementary school. And so we're not walking 50% of them over there and having just a negative experience. Basketball and volleyball, for whatever reason in the past, have not. They've somewhat conflicted with each other, so kids could kind of pick or choose. They did like a Monday, Tuesday for basketball, but then a Tuesday, Thursday morning for volleyball. So we're just going to make it a little more standardized.
Will you run it out of here then?
No, we're running it out of elementary, yeah. Most everything except for tennis will be run out of the elementary. So, and we'll have some cleaner ways of getting our 150 kids around town for all of their activities as well. So it's a nice cooperative effort. It's going to be a lot to get started, but we'll get there because we all want opportunities for our kids.
Right.
So thanks for the question.
I sadly have not looked at the catalog yet.
Yeah.
With our new pickleball courts, is there some adult?
We're still working on that part, but I went out to the City Park and Rec Commission in October, or maybe it was even August. I don't recall, but last couple of months ago, and I think they meet a couple of times a year, and I was there and requested the ability to use the pickleball courts to offer classes for adults, kids, and then set up leagues. They said yes for the classes, but they're just kind of open, it's a little harder to schedule leagues, but they are also looking at adding more courts out there, and which would, at Weiser Park, that would increase our potential to do that. We also have indoor pickleball lines on both small gym floor and the big gym floor at the elementary. So yeah. But that is something we are working on growing.
Good to know.
You're going to be a pickleballer, Eric?
Isn't everybody gonna
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just a stage of
Again, shout out to soccer, put their ad in the catalog, and we're 57 signups ahead of last year. So it's just wonderful. No, they're jumping the river on us a bit. I'm fine with Packer fans coming over. We're just a little bit and go back. So, but our numbers are way up, which is great. That's what we want as kids to be involved. So excellent. It's being well received.
Great.
Any other questions for Nadine? Okay. Pat. Give us good news.
Oh, we got
fantastic.
Kitchen ceiling is not caving in.
Good.
It was actually written in plans that they gave a 1 to 3 inch deflection when they were going to set the chillers on. Typically, from what I'm hearing is that there is a deflection on when it's set. It's going to sag a bit. But when they set the ceiling, this was all supposed to be done prior to the school year. From what we were told originally, that's when the chillers and all that stuff got pushed back. So when they set that, in order for us to have occupancy, we had to have a ceiling that was, up to fire code, and so all that, it had to be there. So Friday, we got a call, I got a call, and I talked to Mindy, so we went over in the kitchen and we looked. I think it was December 27th, a couple days after Christmas, and it was safe.
If you want to see the pictures, I have them.
It was pretty safe. It was only a 3/4 of an inch, but it looked a lot worse than it actually was. So that got fixed over the break. They were on that Friday, and then Saturday, the ceiling guy came and put the ceiling back in place, and Apex actually put additional bracing in there. So we were definitely good to go. So it's totally not gonna cave in.
Any warranty on?
There's additional cost.
No, there's no cost. It was all done.
Good.
Also, we went from a server on site to the cloud for all of our door access control, which is very, very nice. No longer have to remote into a computer from home into your desktop in your office. It's all done on an iPad or phone or desktop at home. It's very handy.
Yep.
I happen to do it on Saturday for my phone.
Same.
Cool.
Pretty slick. We finalized the LTFM projects for the upcoming summer. We're going to get new concrete steps in front of the auditorium, brand new doors. There's been some complaints.
Handicap access there.
Buttons, which are going out throughout the building because they're 25 years old. I think is when
25
the addition was added to the middle school. Those were all updated with that.
Yep,
So
that's 25.
Like a fine wine. Okay.
and get two new main hoops in the gym. One is currently needs some work or help getting pushed down. And we're getting glass around the courtyard and windows along the
Glass will
classroom.
be insulated there, so as you stand, next to the courtyard windows at basketball games or whatever, you don't get frozen.
Or if you happen to get a basketball game, the snow comes underneath the window. Because the caulking we do every summer, it just doesn't, it's just
You ever try caulking in the winter?
good.
Well, I mean, there's snow coming in, there must be a gap.
There's a gap. I mean, we do maintenance on it, but this is why we gotta replace it.
No, I get it.
You can stand in the middle of the hallway. You're gonna get cold. We're just losing energy constantly.
They're 60 years old.
Yeah.
I think that's about it on mine. Any questions for Pat?
With the new windows and the doors in the courtyard, I know for a while there it was unusable for students, but now we have the chicken. Is it been utilized now? Yeah.
We can use it. We had to put a call box out there and up to code. If somebody, those doors have to be kept open. And that's part of the, we're getting different doors, so the doors are gonna be different. They're not gonna be like access control doors, so hopefully it's gonna be a little bit easier. We're just gonna have to work through like an egress type situation. I don't know what we're gonna do with them yet because egress is gonna go into the hall instead of out to the courtyard because you don't wanna get locked in the courtyard, so. I don't work with a contract. We're trying to come up with a way on a door so there is control instead of having the old key with the red LED light and we're gonna have signs eventually. We got temporary signs for occupancy out there.
Do we still have the chickens out there?
Yep.
Well, I'm relieved to hear that. Good. So how expensive is this door gonna be?
The door or the whole?
Doors.
The whole thing.
The whole thing? I don't know.
Hey, if you had to guess.
10 grand,
10 grand,
20 grand.
I know it's gonna be a lot. It's probably 60-ish.
I mean, is it worth 60 grand to have that space usable for the kids? I mean, I get that there's chickens out there, but the educational value of kids walking around a chicken coop.
Well, so what I can say is the improvements we're making out there as a teacher, I like to take my kids outside in the spring and the summer and have an outdoor environment.
But it's 50 square feet.
It's
not very big.
A little more contained. We can open it up for kids. That'll give another area for kids to be if they are wanting to study or lunch or whatever. We're going to save some money over the years with the energy that we're not losing.
So, I mean, and right now, the way we've got it planned, this fits in pretty well to the LTFM. And that's where it's coming from, and that's what those dollars are set to do, is to keep things up to speed. One of the things in the, you know, in the time I've been here, one of the things that I'm noticing, and Pat and I have been working hard on, is getting updated on some things that hadn't been updated in 60 years, you know? And so it's, you know, it's just one of those things. And
yeah. We got bathrooms. I mean, there's a long list still.
Yep. Okay. And we've got, I've got the bathroom thing in my report.
Any other questions for Pat? Okay. Terry.
All right.
Kind of in the middle of our winter season. Our teams are all improving. I think greatly. Our girls basketball team. First one probably started extremely slow. But if anybody's got to watch them, they've really improved. Last night might have been a tough game. They had at Dover, but we're getting a lot of referees that have done multiple games with us, and other coaches that are commenting how much better that we're playing since the beginning. And our girls play with unbelievable effort. So they're improving. I think they had a big win last week, which hopefully gets us a play-in game at home, which would be great. Our boys team played their best game of the night of the year last night against Dover Iota, and really they're looking much better too. Wrestling with their numbers up. They had probably the most successful weekend they've had in quite a while last weekend. We went to a tournament over in Wisconsin and had several high placing finishes and an over 500, way over 500 record as a group, which is something that we haven't done in a while. And then our hockey team had a huge win last night too. That probably gets us a home play-in game in the playoffs. So. We're trending upwards. We're finishing the winter stronger than we started with, which is good. We had done our evaluations and met with all our fall coaches. We had surveys that sent out to, I think all of them went to one high school parent in the fall. We used this information to kind of shape what we need to go forward, including with our meeting. We met, we evaluate, self-evaluate, try to do our assistant coaches as well, see where we are on them and what we can do to help. With that, we've got some things planned for our spring sports where we're doing a servant leadership with our spring staff, which I think will be good too. And eventually, I'd like to get that to all of our coaches, do the servant leadership course, if we can. I think is just an awesome thing to be able to do. As we're meeting with the fall, we've got most of our fall and even next winter season schedules done. Football we do not, because we won't even have a schedule until probably June. So we won't be able to schedule homecoming until June or so, which kind of stinks. But we will not have a schedule until June for football. The evaluation will send out in the winter when the season's over. Within a month after that, robotics is up, getting ready for their building their competition field and getting ready to practice, go to lacrosse in Duluth. And then we have a meeting Friday with our athletic leadership council to work with Mandy on doing a project for a video promo for the elementary school.
Any questions for Terry? Thank you, Terry. Mindy.
Okay. A lot of this I'll put as written, but I just wanted to do a couple of call-outs. I'm planning on doing like a little Mindy's Minutes thing, so if there are certain things you'd like to be updated on 2 to 3 times a month that you want to be a concurrent thing, let me know. MSBA, those of us who went, I don't know about anyone else, but I was a little frustrated. I talked to Wade. It was a little frustrating that we couldn't get the materials up in the apps as we were going. But in speaking to one of their techs from MSBA, they're going to try and pull those all together and send them out. So my plan will be, once I get them, I'll put them in a Google Drive that you will all have access to, so that you can just go in and look at whatever you want to from the meeting. Bathroom project, I met with Apex at the MSBA, and Corey told me that they should have stuff for us within the next week or so. On what the individual bathrooms look like, will look like, and costs and things like that. So we'll know a little bit more about that, because they had sent them out to the engineers. Can you click on football and soccer press box? I have the big schematics over here. Okay. I've done that a couple of, when I try and put these in on my own, sometimes I mess them up. I need them in to do them. But I will, if you request access, I can give you that really quick. But basically it's just a color thing. We're looking at a lot of grays and darker grays, mid grays, and blacks. And then we will do like the GeForce graphics that we can just put on with our logos, etc. as we come up through that. Okay, we might need to do the same thing, Amanda, for the two at the end, the board committees and the board meetings, or board committees for sure. Okay. Okay, I think I gave that to you. So then I'll just keep going on. I did put a review in there again for the snow and weather related updates. The last time I sent it out, because we've had parents that are like, what is Crowley doing here? Why is she calling a day, And I've heard that through other people. Of course, those parents didn't come to me and tell me that. They told other people who then shared it with me. So I did put a link in there to where we go and where we get the information from NOAA so that people could see it. And that will be something that'll be in each of them, so they can see a little bit better how we're making the decision or why we're making that decision. Are you able to get in yet?
To the
Press box one. There you go. Okay, so these are just little detailed schematics. You can see it's kind of a darker charcoal that we're looking at for the exterior with black trim. And then this is what it'll look like. So the press box itself will sit towards the top of the bleachers. Terry and Pat jump in if I'm saying this wrong. And that will be attached to the bleachers. The stairs will have posts that come down and will be freestanding on the back side. Will be attached to it, but will be separate from the press box. The plan is that Weezer Brothers will construct the press box at their shop, like starting soon. And then as we get closer to spring, and the ground is still solid, we're going to try and have them come in and place that up on top where it needs to be and hook that in. There won't be stairs going up to it from the backside yet, because that'll have to happen after the thaw, when we can put cement down and everything. But that piece will be up there, and Pat had made the call at the meeting when we were talking with Brett, and I thought it was a great idea. He said, is there any way you can go in when the ground's still frozen so it doesn't tear up the whole area back there, and then we have more stuff to do. So that's kind of the process and progress on that.
So how much is the press box?
Press box was budgeted at $250, and it came in under that. And we're still doing a little negotiations, down a little further than what it was. And so it's dual usage for football and soccer. And I asked the question because I thought someone would also want to know this, and Brett called me today and gave me the answer. I said, what's the life expectancy of it? And he said, it's a lot of, how well do you take care of it, etc. But he said 30 to 35 years easy. And then with really good maintenance, it could be longer.
Are we gonna have signage on it?
Well, that, I mean, there's some.
Yes.
Graphic.
That's
Well,
what I talked about, the G-force graphics, like a Lancer shield, that kind of stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, we'll look in the front too, the St. Louis Crescent will,
Yeah, we'll be able to do some of that, Wade, and then if we get a big sponsor, you know, there's some chance or something.
okay. And do we have, so, video equipment, are we upgrading that with this, or is that adequate that we have right now, or what?
The video, so I don't know, when you're out there, you know, there's that camera mounted on the front of the dress box.
Yeah.
That's the huddle that does our filming and our live streams. That will be that in our yearly subscription with that. They update that camera as needed there. So
Okay, so we're fine with tech and everything up there in the.
Yeah.
The only suggestion I would make is when we had parent night, there was a referee that happened to be working for us that night, and we did not have the correct audio input. Otherwise, he would have been able to announce from the field.
The audio input that's out there now is like the 19.
Yeah.
So that will be updated.
The 1900s.
The 1900s.
So the audio is getting updated as well.
Even the speakers are.
Is the audio, the audio, jacks and the press box, are those?
We'll have to still look at that, yeah, that's not part of that,
Okay.
that's separate, but that can be budgeted for, I'm sure.
Okay.
And 70s music would be, what, a little bit of Foghat maybe?
There's our guy.
See, out here, he got ridiculed at the last hockey thing.
You know, for playing any artist, appreciate it.
What student section?
All right, we're moving on.
I'll ask you guys to look at the board's 3-year operational plan, and I'd like to make a plan to move that forward soon. Board recognition, can you click on that? Oh, shoot. Okay, I'll get it fixed so y'all have access. But it's just a picture of the 2 metal lifetime passes for the 2 board members.
Cool.
So, and then just update on softball concession stand. Wade and I and Pat are working with the city and the contractor who did that. We had some issues with how the sewer was put in. And we got a one-time pass basically for softball boosters to use it last year. So we got to get that thing fixed this year. And so we're in process of setting up the meetings to do that and getting all that ready.
Is that going to tear up the concrete?
Most likely it's going to have to tear up some of the concrete and possibly some of the blacktop. And that, but I'm waiting for the contractor to give me the schematics of what's going to happen.
Are we gonna use the same contractor?
Whose error was it?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a mutually shared, I think, thing. It's.
But we'll get it done.
Somebody will get it, and it should, we're trying to make, it's not on us. That's why we hire professional people. to do
Yeah,
it. And there was
exactly.
It's a complicated thing, I think, for regulation, but yeah, there it is.
So, and if anyone has any questions about it, feel free to come visit me at some point. Or if a community member or a softball booster asks you, just refer them back to me. The only thing on board meetings I have is, for whatever reason, when I looked at this, we have November 19th, which is a Wednesday, or a Thursday as a board meeting. I think it has to be the 18th. So that might change on here. And then did we choose the 12th for the February board meeting? Does anyone remember?
Isn't President's Day on Monday?
The MSBA told me it was the 19th. So
the recognition of it is on Monday, but the
actual day is always. And so with the MSBA days, you can't have board meetings.
Too bad.
Yeah, the President's Day one was so
How arbitrary is that?
The 19th is like Washington's birthday.
Maybe we also, in
Trump's
that October one, we moved it this past year because it was NEA and
Oh, that's right.
games on that Wednesday, so we had previously moved that, so I don't know if you wanna.
Yep, I can move that again.
Now or later?
Yep, we can move that, and we'll bring that to the next one to formally kind of adopt it and approve it, but I just wanted to check through that. And then if you get into board committees, There we go. So I went through the list that we went through and I hand wrote last time. And so I just want to make sure that you check this. If you can check it at your leisure, because you should have access to it also. But if you have any questions, now if you go down to, yeah, so that's where everyone's at on the board committee meetings. The administrative committee meetings, I tried to put in when they meet. On the side, so Paige, you had a question about that for district-wide staff development and oversight. So if you look at the staff development meeting, it says it meets the first Monday of the month at 3:30. And then if you go down to oversight and QCOM, first Monday of the month at, I think it's 4:45, because it's like a 15-minute break between the two meetings. And then the second column is when board reports would be expected to be due from the people on those committees, and administrative members and other members. So this will be a thing that's updated as I go through, because some of the teachers have changed. That's it for me.
Any questions for Mindy? Education. Oh.
Looking at the, did you want any of us listed on that?
We can, yes, anyone who
I know
wants
the
to.
email just recently went out.
Yep.
I don't know if anybody else
From Nicole?
responded. Yeah.
Yes.
I put myself on the April one.
Okay, you did.
That worked better for my schedule.
Okay, and I can look at that list and update
Some
from
people
you.
want to just do it monthly like that when they.
What's every other? I think one's in February and one's in April maybe? There's only 3.
One's next week.
Next week. Yeah.
Oh,
And then
so 28th, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Mindy?
One other quick announcement. So Mandy sent it out today, but John Haugen is kind of spearheading a all-school reunion for the 60th anniversary of our district. So that organizational meeting is on Thursday, February 20th at 6:30 right in the space. If there's any of you who graduated as a Lancer and want to come help plan, you're more than welcome. Or if you've just been in this community for a long time, yeah.
Education Minnesota.
So my report this month was pretty short and sweet. I sent out a couple additional reminders since we had a nice 2-week break in there, and when I pulled it up this morning, there were 2 slides. So I went into the multiple hallways and I'm like, you guys have anything to add? So I sent 2 slides, so 8th grade added quite a bit to the slideshow, but second grade music compositions, they did some projects and had some fun with that. So that was all that was added for the elementary portion. You want to scroll in? This is what Heather highlighted with the middle school student of the month. This was in our fax room, right in the corner back behind here is where our fax room is. It's a nice open space, and we got a bunch of pizza from Pizza Ranch, and the dessert pizza was delicious. And it was nice to be around the families and talk to parents. And some of the 8th grade girls, I think, brought some of their basketball friends after they were finished with their game, and so it was fun, short and sweet. And this was before our break. The 8th grade class did a class-wide cookie decorating contest, and I went in with some of the 5th and 6th grade teachers, and we were just looking at the beautiful creations that the 8th grade kids were doing with their cookies, and they got a vote on the best one for the cookie winner of the year, I guess. So 8th grade also did a research project on Latin America, and then they showcased all of their research on their bodies, and then they got presented to 7th grade, which is pretty cool. You can go ahead and scroll in. And eighth grade, you might have a little more information, Heather, on this. I don't know where the VR goggles came from, but they got to go into virtual reality and kind of research the different geography and the different cities and how it impacts this region. So I thought that was pretty cool. And eighth grade STEM, I'm sure parents love this. They got to make their own speakers and worked on circuits and their STEM classes.
I can say my kid loves that. So.
Totally.
Love it.
And then mark the calendars for February 10th. Milwaukee Burger, they're donating 10%, and that will go to our middle school. For PBIS, the one with Landsmark. And then eighth grade, again, got to work with a therapy dog. His name is Gunther. And just got to see and hear about all of the different places that Gunther can go and support within this community and make this special place more homey and welcoming for everybody. For eighth grade, they have students cleaning up their area instead of having custodians do that. So when fifth grade is leaving, eighth grade is also leaving at that time, kind of like a passing time. So eighth grade is cleaning up that mess, and I know the custodians appreciate it because there's not always a lot of you guys around. So you take leadership in that. And this is our Landsmart at the middle school. It's within the middle school office. If anyone wants to pop in and see it, it kind of reminds me of like Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I guess that's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
Showbiz Pizza.
Yeah.
Forever Showbiz.
And they decorated it super cute, and everybody involved did great. I think Mr. Shippey's wife did a lot of like the decorating and sewing.
She did the sewing of the tablecloth to fit just right over the store, the actual like spit fun. They were so cute.
And then lastly, this is how I end at Minnesota Nice. There's if you walk by, it's right out here in front of the middle school office. Every week, kids get to take their hands and put their handprints up on the wall for showing the Lansing way. And that's all I got.
And it's very fun if you get to watch them when the teachers are painting their hands and the kids are putting it. It's just great. They're just excited, and then they go. That's to everyone.
Brandon has a timid finger, so yes, what is that?
I'm playing the new card, and I probably should know the answer to this, but what is Education Minnesota?
It is the like the union within our
Certified. Answer that. And then it's working with the entire grades.
Yes.
Okay.
We get video updates and stuff sometimes.
This is just really eighth grade heavy, so.
Okay.
I get a highlight normally throughout the whole district. I work within the middle school, so I got to go annoy my coworkers.
And the period of time was shorter this time too, so it was hard.
And the way to think about it is, Education Minnesota works with all of our certified teachers and certified staff. With the exception of administrators.
Okay.
And then MSCA, Minnesota School Employees Association, works with non-certified. And so those are two of the three unions we have, and then the principals form another union.
That question was okay. All right. Anything else? Okay, moving on. Information-wise, budget update.
Budget looks good. Talked to Julie today. She said that they're gonna do the revised budget. Her and Mindy are getting together this between now and the next meeting, getting that ready for us, so she'll bring that to the next meeting.
Eric, what's your favorite part of the budget? What are you looking for?
Percentage increase. She said right where it should be at this time of year. It's pretty boring, nothing too exciting.
Good. Okay, very good.
That would be on the balance sheet.
In the balance sheet. Questions? We hope not. Okay, moving on from the balance sheet. Enrollment.
Beth, can you confirm for me, is this number right? Did we jump from 18 to 29?
I will have to look at that.
I can't see where we would have jumped that high. We would have had ECSE kids come in at any time during the year based on when their birthdays are, if they turn 3. But to my knowledge, we didn't have that many kids. So I wonder if it was maybe a typo, it's supposed to be 19
Well,
instead
I
of
pulled
29.
numbers, and that's what pulled out of our system, so we can dive into that and see if it's counting something incorrectly.
Yeah.
Is this the kindergarten roundup month? February.
Coming soon, but we've already got.
Do you have big
25, yes.
And big plans.
You've already heard.
Yeah, the
Marketing blitz.
Cool, good.
The video that our leadership team is working on is interviewing their former kindergarten teachers and doing some of those things so we can get.
Oh, that's what the video is. I thought it was.
Thank you to Mandy as well for being the impetus and the ideas. We're trending up.
Yeah.
What was that?
Wow.
ECSE one is wrong.
Hey, everything starts with 1. Well, that's 3.
That does come with that little caveat, now doesn't it? All right, fine. Anyway, all right. Any questions? Student behavior.
I can start. I'm looking over here. Where are we at? What month is it? January.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, given it was a short period of time, I did have 2 referrals come in today. But in 8th grade.
What'd they do?
I don't think I can tell you that.
Okay.
It's too much.
You passed the
It's
test.
data privacy.
Yep, no.
I've been doing this a while. Good try.
No shift.
And let's see. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary. Just kind of creeped up. I think maybe right before break, maybe just sprinkled in after. No, nothing crazy.
Since we really can't talk about it, it's just more presented for our review because we can't really go in depth.
No. And
that's for you.
And I do want to be like completely honest with you about that. It is still hard because there are so few times where kids are like that get into that kind of trouble where it's suspension or whatever. So I think it is best for us to just, here's the numbers, any questions, but also to be transparent about bullying reports, and that is very important as well. But I think when it comes to suspensions, it's hard because kids know, can know. But there we go, that's how we're at.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Consent agenda. Oh, we have a move to approve by Darcy and seconded by Eric Morgan. Is there any discussion? Well, Brandon, I thought you'd use one of your tokens here.
I'm good.
Okay.
I think we should pay people.
Any discussion? Oh.
Look at the donation.
Yep. Oh, we get a lot. $500 for DBS Group, $400 from Ring and Run, Mid-City Steel, Practice Welding.
Did we have to go pick up the wood from Woody, or did he bring it to us?
I would bet he does.
Yeah, I think he delivered.
And did we get,
Pretty good name for a tree service company.
Or were those on the $1,000 for printers and the other one that I had written the cards for and stuck in the red file? One was something for printers, and then there was one for the robotics, $300 for robotics.
I would assume that there aren't none. The robotics one.
The robotics one is, but I don't see $1,000.
Julie provides this report.
Okay.
So I think Dana provides her the information.
Okay, so I just know that I accepted the check from them, and it was $1,000 for printer and stuff for the tech.
Was it recent? Like,
Yeah, it was after break.
Okay.
So maybe she hasn't gotten that far yet.
Well, again, I think that's a wonderful monthly donation, so thank you to everyone who donated. Is there any other discussion? All in favor of the consent agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Consent agenda passes. We have.
Move to adjourn.
Motion's been made. Seconded by Darcy. All in favor of adjourning the meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Adjourned, been approved. All right.
It is.
It is. So anyone who wants to keep the audit home and review it forever and ever and ever. But otherwise, you can hand it back to me. So I had to work the concession stand shift.